Hey guys, um, I'm always on movie news, and I always see like major bombshells appear on YouTube when it comes to the movie industry or the television industry. And today, um, Hulu dropped a bombshell that I don't think any of us were expecting. And that is that Futurama is going to come back on Hulu. Now, I was going to do a rant about this, but I'd rather just talk about it calmly, why I personally am not a fan of this choice, and I think all of you will see why. So, one thing is, Disney has been screwing up the Fox properties. Disney has already gotten, like, a bunch of backlash over how they're treating Pixar and how they're handling Lucasfilm, and a little bit of backlash from Marvel, and a little bit of backlash for their most recent Disney films and Disney live-action remakes. But this honestly just kind of, like, this was like the straw that broke the camel's back, in my opinion. So I haven't seen any of the Fox-related stuff that Disney has put out. I've seen bits of the new Home Alone, and it's pretty bad so far. Every single movie that Disney has put out that was a part of a Fox IP, like the Diary of a Wimpy Kid movie that came out, and the Ice Age Adventures of Buck Wild, have been met with pretty bad reviews, and a lot of people are saying that the franchises are getting worse. And keep in mind, these franchises were messed up before Disney came into the picture. Diary of a Wimpy Kid and Ice Age were both on their brink of destruction. So, honestly, this decision to bring back Futurama is just kind of like the final nail in the coffin for me with this whole Fox stuff. So, why do I not like the idea of Futurama coming back? Now, that's actually wrong. I don't hate the idea of Futurama coming back, but I don't want it to come back this way. I want them to do something experimental, maybe a little risky. And I don't mean necessarily with the show itself, but rather the format. I want them to make 4 theatrical movies that go to theaters. Now you might be saying, well, we're in a pandemic, there's no support for an adult animated movie. But they're putting out the Bob's Burgers movie in theaters, and I'm pretty sure that it's going to stay a theatrical release. Now, they're also going to make a Simpsons movie too, and a Family Guy movie, and they're still in development. So I don't see any reason why Disney shouldn't release 4 Futurama movies in theaters. I think they would do really well. The fan base has grown a lot over the years, and there's been more support for the franchise. So I totally think it could work, but I'm going to go into those another day. My personal vision for the movies. I know I don't own the Futurama property, and I don't have any say in the continuation of the series, but it's just my own personal idea. So besides the Futurama brand not going in the way that I think it should, there's also a few other issues, like the fact that the show did come back in the 2010s, but it wasn't very well received, and that's because it had a mixture of both mediocre, bad, and good episodes. And the episodes that were good, they still weren't enough to overshadow the bad in the seasons. So if Disney is doing the same thing that they've been doing with the other Fox IPs, then it's honestly going to be a lot worse than it was in the 2010s. Now, I'm actually a defender of the Comedy Central era of Futurama. I actually think that that's the second best. I hate the specials, and I'm going to call them specials because they do not deserve to be called movies. Bender's Big Score, Beast of the Billion Backs, Bender's Game, and Into the Wild Green Yonder are some of the crappiest specials that were ever released. And one of the reasons is because they were long and boring. The series already set itself a format that doesn't work for a movie. That's why I think they need to change it up if they ever want to do a movie. So being 20 minutes is a lot better, a lot more relaxing, and you get a good story, good characters, good jokes, and it's over, like a Simpsons episode. But with that being said, I will acknowledge that the Comedy Central era was not perfect in any way. There were a lot of misses, and there were a few hits, but there were more misses than hits. like Yoli Lalila and the Da Vinci Code. Like, I don't hate some of the episodes like a lot of people do. Like, I do enjoy episodes like That Darn Cats, but I will acknowledge that the Comedy Central era could have been done better. And so my point is, if Disney is going to treat Futurama like they've been treating the other Fox properties, then there is no way that it's going to be good. Because so far, they have not shown that they know what makes those Fox properties work, what makes them endearing, and, you know, therefore, they've messed it up entirely. You know, it's a lot like what they did with Lucasfilm. There's also another reason, and it's been talked about the most recently, and that is the fact that John DiMaggio might not be coming back as the voice of Bender. Like, John DiMaggio's personality is so ingrained in the metal parts of Bender that you can't replace him. You know, it's kind of like with Mike Myers with Shrek, or Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker, Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man, Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man. You get my point. Like, you can't replace John DiMaggio. Maybe you could have done it with Chris Farley because their voices sound very similar, but I don't see a good replacement. And another reason that I do want to point out is Futurama might become a cash cow franchise. Like, if they keep doing this over and over, bringing it back, only for it to get worse and worse, then Futurama will lose its status. Just like The Simpsons, Ice Age, Home Alone, and Night at the Museum, and Diary of a Wimpy Kid. It's going to be seen as just another franchise that Disney refuses to let die, just because it has a lot of fans and it's making a lot of money. And even at that, they're still treating Futurama like shit, because they're not giving it the treatment that they should be giving it. That's just how I feel. Anyways, guys, those are my thoughts on why I personally don't like the idea of this new Futurama revival. What do you guys think? Are you excited for it? Do you agree with me or disagree with me? Let me know down in the comments, and I'll see you guys later. I just had to get my thoughts out because I did have some very strong feelings on it, as well as all of you. Please let me know what you think about this news. Prove me wrong, Disney. Make some damn good episodes and treat Futurama with respect. It deserves it. See you guys later.